Hello, test, test, test. Hello, test, test, test. It works. Mute that. Sit right there. Sorry. Just getting things set up again. It's been a while since I last live stream. Okay, there we go. I'm just gonna give it a sec, let it get out there to the world that I am live streaming. During this time, I will explain the game. This game is Stray. It won Indie Game of the Year, so I thought, I already wanted to play it and live stream playing it, but I thought, what better game to come back with than a game that won Indie Game of the Year, you know? So I thought it'd be a perfect game to come back with. Be a great game to get a chance to talk with you guys, explain everything that's been going on in my past life. Oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. It has been a bit since I've talked a lot. There. Basically, I will explain to you everything that's happened over the past while. Last time I did a video was basically me explaining what's happening, what's going on. I basically kind of went over and just explained what happened to me. I can get into more detail now about what happened and what's been going on for the past while. So to start it off, it's been a long recovery. I'm still recovering to this very day. I'm starting up physio soon, but I'll get into that later. It was September, the end of September, when this happened. I ended up getting, I was on my bike. I was crossing the street in a crosswalk, and a car turned and hit me. I'm not sure if this person was on their phone, or looked away, or just didn't see me somehow. I don't know how they wouldn't be able to see me. It was bright day. There was nothing blocking the view. The only thing that would make sense if they went to mess with the radio, or if they were on their phone. I don't know. Something clearly was awry. Car didn't see me, hit me, crushed my leg against my bike. So my right leg got crushed against my bike. It stopped the bike in its tracks. The car drove over the bike or dragged it. I'm not too sure. I couldn't really see it, but I ended up going flying forward. I flew forward, landed on my left side, on my shoulder. Got some pretty bad road rash on my left arm. That was pretty nasty. Wasn't the best. Luckily, it healed up. That healed up pretty quick with minimal scarring. It has it has some scars. Actually, I should put my phone on vibrate. There we go. So no more notifications. It has some scarring. I can see where it happened, but it's nothing serious. It's just slight different skin pigment now. That's all healed up. But I ended up, after I landed on the ground, landed on my left shoulder. Sorry about this music. This is really loud, actually. I should actually quickly. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, it's 10 as usual. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Uh-oh. Yes, there you go. Hopefully this isn't too loud. Maybe I have to go even more. There you go. Half volume for music. Landed, like I said, I landed on my left side. Broke my collarbone on impact. The car broke both my bones in my leg on impact. So the order went: broke my leg, both my bones in my leg, my tibia and fibia. Both those bones broke when the car hit me. Then I went flying off my bike, landing on my left shoulder, which broke my left collarbone, which was not pleasant. But that was the least of my worries of pleasantness. I ended up, after landing on the road, my body just naturally rolled to the right side. So I was laying on my good arm, and I couldn't move my broken like because it hurt to move my left arm because of my collarbone that was broken, so I couldn't move that at all. So I couldn't do almost no movement because I didn't want to move at all because I didn't know what would be broken, what was hurt, if I had any spinal injuries, neck injuries. I just kind of laid there. My backpack ended up wrapping around my head, so they had to cut that off of me. It sucks too because that was like a brand new backpack. I lost my earbuds, the Pixel Buds. I had Pixel Buds for my phone. Lost those. Those are gone. That sucks. Hopefully her insurance will cover for that and my bike. Those are like the only and the backpack, because everything the insurance has to replace. Hopefully, I need the receipt for it, and those are like the three things I have the receipts for. Also, my water bottle got destroyed during the accident because the bottle ended up scraping against the concrete a lot. Like it was like a pretty bad scrape. Cause it's like a 2-layer water bottle. Keeps like one layer for the outside and like an insulate layer, I guess. I'm not too sure, but like breached the first layer, but had the second layer was still fine. But it kind of ruined its whole thing where it kept things cold for a long period of time, and also it was just like it didn't look good anymore. It was just destroyed. So I had to replace that because that's something I'd use daily. And I didn't really keep the receipt for a water bottle, so because I never thought I was gonna have to replace it. It's a heavy duty water bottle that can take a beating. I didn't think the worst thing that was gonna happen to it was like me dropping it or hitting it against something, not it getting skid across the road with me. So I kind of laid there. A lot of people rushed over to me. I ended up getting lucky. One of the people that was there, and it was actually a registered nurse, so that was nice. I already I was running through the scenarios in my head of all like the medical drama. I know it's kind of corny and stupid, but I was like running through the scenarios in my head of all the medical dramas that I've watched, and the best thing you need to do is like after an accident that most likely broke some bones, or you landed weird or funny, you just you don't move. You do not move. Like I wanted to move because I was in such an uncomfortable position because I was like laying on my right side with my arm pinned underneath me, my right arm pinned underneath me, on the concrete. But I'm like, I'm not gonna move until the ambulance gets here. They check out my neck, my spine, and make sure there's no injuries like that, and I don't have to worry about anything like that happening. The nurse was just there trying to keep me calm, and the pain for I didn't really notice, my shoulder was uncomfortable, but it was broken, and the most I felt about it was uncomfortable, but my leg, all the pain went to my leg. Holy crap, it was like a sharp throbbing at the same time. It was like a mixture of like my muscles being just so throbbing sore because it just got crushed by a car, and like the sharp pain of like your bone breaking, and the cuts I had all over my leg. It was bad. It was so bad. Like I just kind of sat there in the road, and I understood why people groaned when they were getting after an accident or something like that. You truly can't help it. It's just the pain is so. It's just so bad. I remember just sitting there and I was ready just to start crying because it was like such a bad pain. And I've never broken a bone before. Let alone, I've never broken a single bone before in my entire life. And the first time I do, I break 3. I break 3 bones in one incident. It sucks. It sucked, I should say. So, ambulance got there. They checked out my neck and my spine. It was completely fine. Everything about it was completely fine. Luckily, I got lucky there. They cut the backpack off me because it was wrapped around me, like I said. They put me on a board. Oh, don't even get me started with moving. They started moving me, and it just like was like a shock to my system. Holy crap! My leg just didn't want to leave its area. It got comfortable where it was. Holy crap! I remember every movement they made, it was like a shock, and it sucked. Oh. They got me into like this board, like you lift up in. It's like one of those weird ones. It's like it opens up down the middle, and they put it like behind my head to get my head underneath it, They put a C collar on me, I think it's called. A C collar or neck. It's like one of those things that goes around your neck, keeps your head stabilized. They want it to be they want it to be safe, rather they want it to be safe. Just just in case, better safe than sorry type thing. Put that on me. Put what else? That's that weird thing they put, or you can put your head on, and they closed it underneath you, so I get underneath, lifted me up, and brought me into the ambulance. And during the whole time, I just remember thinking to myself like this experience sucks. And I was trying to joke about the pain, and just trying to make it kind of like a joke to myself. It was very unreal for a long time. It didn't feel like it was actually happening to me. It felt like it was a dream, and I would close my eyes and then open them, and I'd be laying in my bed sleeping like, bad dream. But they got me into the ambulance. I got the cops because I gave them my phone. I tried to use my fingerprint to open it, but they ended up shutting it down the first time accidentally. So I just gave them my password for it. So there's like a password I can use as well with my fingerprint. And they ended up finally getting in contact with my mom. She actually missed the first call and got only a voicemail. So when she first heard the voicemail, she thought it was my brother. A lot of the pieces come together, but she heard the voicemail, thought it was my brother, wondering what the hell he did to get the cops to call her. Calls the cops back, ends up being it was me instead. How it was an incident and stuff like that. They drove me to the hospital. It gets a little blurry from this point forward. I'm trying to think back. Drove me to the hospital. They brought me into the waiting room. I was in the waiting room for a bit, like the ER waiting room kind of area. Not like the waiting room. I was in a room by myself after the doctors did a quick check over me, make sure I wasn't like an immediately urgent thing. Then they moved me to a different room where they could do a bit more thorough check over of me, see what they need to do. And that's right around my time when my mom and my stepdad got there. And then when I saw my mom for the first time after the accident, it's just like all that emotion I was holding inside, trying just like to hold like a tough face almost, or seem tough, or just I don't know. I'm not sure what I was trying to do. Maybe just convince myself that I'm fine. But the second I saw her, I just started bawling because it was just like I almost died. That's about as simple as it gets. I nearly died. There was someone with a literal similar accident that happened to them, and it was literally the next day after my accident. Someone had an exact similar accident to them on a bike, got hit by a vehicle. Only difference is that this guy didn't live. Of course, the injuries would be different too, but this person didn't live. And I was like, wow. To think that I was this close to dying. It's a scary thought. They got me. I was in that kind of private room for a bit with my mom and my stepdad. They had to put like a temporary cast on my leg. I honestly didn't know how bad it was at first. I thought it wasn't that bad until the doctors came in and they told me how bad it was. It's like, yeah, your tibia and your fibia are broken, and also your collarbone. I was like, what? 3 broken bones, not 1, 3. Okay, yeah, this is bad. This isn't something that, and the doctor said I'm definitely going to need surgery. So I knew it was bad, really bad when they said that. I was like, that's great. First ever, I definitely am, all the way. That's what I do. No, and I'm no half-assing it. First time break a bone, I break 3, and I need surgery for it. So they put the temporary cast on my leg. This is a fun story. Very fun story. To put a temporary cast on, they had to move my leg around a lot, and broken leg, it hurts. So what they do, they give me an anesthesia. It's like a substitute to actual anesthesia. So they don't have to put me under. I'll still be awake, but I'll be pretty much out of it. It was called ketamine. I'm like, ketamine? I'm like, that sounds familiar. I didn't realize it until afterwards, but ketamine is also what some people could refer to as Special K. And I've never tried, I've never had ketamine, never tried ketamine. They gave it to me, and holy crap, I was in a different universe. It was a terrible experience. I was in a whole other dimension. It, I could still, the only thing that was keeping me somewhat grounded was the fact that I could feel the pressure of my leg being moved around. I didn't feel the pain, but I could feel the pressure. It was uncomfortable pressure, but it wasn't pain that I was feeling. I couldn't even describe to you what I saw. Like, it was like 1 second I was there and fine, and they put it into my IV, and it's like, okay, to make sure you get this quick, we're gonna rush it. And they started squeezing the IV to like rush the drug to my system quickly. I was there, and then I wasn't, and I don't know where I went. It was like this whole different universe. I think like an hour or 2 hours passed. I'm not too sure how long. Like I said, a lot of this part from this part forward it gets really blurry until the surgery, and I woke up. I guess woke up, or like I start coming down and getting, and like my brain realized what was happening. So like my body still wasn't caught up. So it was my body was still in a different dimension, but my brain realized it grounded itself, and it was like, okay, I know where I am, I know what happened, and I know what drug I'm currently experiencing. So that was great. 1 sec. Okay, there. So the do something quickly. Okay, and it was a not fun experience. I would never do. I remember it was almost like being on truth serum because everything I thought I said out loud. It was like I couldn't have any inner thoughts to myself. Everything that I just thought it came out of my mouth. It was like you know that saying, "Think before you speak." Well, I was speaking as I was thinking at the same time. Um, I threw up at the end of it too, but I had a bad reaction to it. My body didn't like it. Makes sense. Um, Finally I started coming down. It's a lot of weird shit, cause it's like a truth serum almost. Uh, Mom came into the room. They brought me into like a waiting room where I'd be waiting for surgery. And I was in there overnight, and then they brought me to my own room, and I was there for about 2 days. So it was a total of a 3-day process until finally I got my surgery. 3 days. And let me just tell you how torturous those 3 days were. I couldn't, because they didn't know when I was going to get my surgery, I couldn't eat or drink anything. Yeah, I wasn't going to die of dehydration or starvation because, it takes like 3 weeks for a human to fully die of starvation, and I had an IV in, so I wasn't gonna die of dehydration. But oh my god, it was torture. My mouth was dry as hell. My stomach was angry at me. That was like the longest I've ever gone. There's not one day where I've gone 3 days straight without eating food or drinking water, and that was awful. It was so bad. Finally, surgery came. Got my surgery. I remember I got wheeled out to the room. I was extremely nervous. I've never gone under before. I know all the complications that could happen. Those were rushing through my head. Everything that could go wrong. My heart could stop. I could stop breathing. I could get some type of aneurysm. Anything, like so many things can go wrong during surgery, just from natural things happening. But what was comforting my thought is that the doctor I had to get examined to make sure I was okay. I was fit for surgery. The doctor said I was like a prime candidate for surgery. I was like in the best position to get surgery. It's like lungs completely healthy. I'm pretty much I wouldn't say great shape, but I'm like in good shape to where like I don't get winded easily. It was just nice to hear that. I never really knew how great of a shape, how great or healthy I was. But when the doctor told me that I was in prime candidate to get surgery, I was like, ah, that makes me feel better. You know, at least if I'm gonna do something risky where I could possibly die, at least I'm at my all-time high. So if I do, it's a very low chance. Um, they wheeled me into the surgery room. I started breathing through this mask. They were all working away at something. I'm just laying there, breathing, laying there, breathing, and then just from 1 second I'm there to I'm not. And it was like there was no dreaming. I thought there'd be some type of dreaming in between, but it's weird. There was like no dreaming. There was nothing. It went from like clonked out to then I hear beeping of like my heart monitor, and I'm in the recovery room after the surgery, and I start opening my eyes, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, oh, and my throat's hurt. My throat hurts. It's dry because of the tube they had to put in, and it's just like it was literally like time traveling almost because it was like I was there 1 second and then back in a different place another. I really thought there'd be some type of like dreaming or imagining or just whatever would happen in between, but it was like a whole four. I think it was like 4 hours. I can't remember exactly passed, and it was just yep. Everything went well. The surgeon said that everything went great. Everything was gonna heal in its due time. Brought me up to my room, and from that point forward, I was in the hospital for another week. I had to do some type of physical therapy inside the hospital, to where I was able to get upstairs. That wasn't fun. Uh, did that. Finally passed it. They booted me out of the hospital. It's kind of a rude term, but you know, in Canada we don't have a lot of rooms. Like I was in a room with one, two, I think three other people. I was in a room with three other people. No, they were nice. They were neighbors. Finally got out of there. It was nice because I was not showering for a week. Sucks. I got so lucky that day of the accident, I took a shower that morning. Thank God, because if I didn't, it would have just been even longer. It would have been more than a week since I've last showered. But luckily, one of the first things I did once I got home was take a long, like an hour-long shower. I stayed at my dad's for the first week. I'm not even gonna talk about the process of trying to get to my dad's. That wasn't fun. It was painful, kind of miserable. It was life for the time being. I remember thinking pretty just like this sucks. Life sucks. I was pretty miserable, kind of depressed for a bit there too. It was just I was at like a very low. To go from I didn't realize how important walking really was, how much it affected your life, because I always felt stranded. I could go from, like for example, if I want to use the bathroom, it was a process. It was a challenge. I had to go from my bed and wobble and use my crutches and struggle just to get to the bathroom. And then it was just so much effort and work. And it sucks. It sucked so bad. The first time I had to go up the stairs in my dad's house, because he has like a total of like 20 stairs to climb. I think maybe 14, 16. I'm not too sure. It's up there. High teens at least. I think it took me like half an hour the first time to get up them, and I cut that time in half. And I just kept getting better and better at it. It was like my body was getting stronger and better, healing, I guess. I don't know. I was recovering. I don't know how else to describe it. After the week was over, I felt like I could finally take care of myself. So I went back to my place. I lived with my grandfather. Went back here. The whole process of going up and down this, because there's only one bathroom here. It's upstairs. And I live in the basement, so I had to go up 12 stairs, I think, give or take, just to get to the bathroom. And I do it every time, but luckily that was kind of a good thing because it allowed me to heal faster, get stronger, I guess. I kind of became a professional at it, but it always became a hassle in doing it. But I got through it. Finally, my next appointment date came up, and they removed my cast, which was so nice. I don't even want to talk about the torture of experience, how itchy it was underneath that cast. Oh my goodness. It is torture. It is awful. I looked up tutorials. I looked up videos. I lost sleep over just sitting there. Can't scratch my leg because of how itchy it was, and it was awful. It sucked. Even afterwards, I had I had like an open wound on my bottom of my foot, my left ankle area, and they had to keep that patched up for a while, even after I removed the cast, because the cast was like rubbing up against that part of the leg. I got a boot, a medical boot. I'm not sure what it's called. They just call it a boot. It's you wear it after you break a leg. It makes it easier to walk around, protects your leg. It felt so weird, because even after that, I couldn't put weight on my leg for the next like 2 weeks again. So I still couldn't walk. Had to hop around everywheres. Use my chair, my like computer chair a lot to wheel around my room. That was nice. It's great. I'm happy I had that because it allowed me to go around my room in ease. 2 weeks go by. I have another appointment. The doctor looks me up. Doctor looks me over, and I can finally start putting weight on it. Thank God. That was great to hear. I'm able to start putting weight on it. I started walking on it. It felt so weird. It felt like a foreign object almost. It just didn't feel normal to put pressure and weight on it. I didn't trust my leg anymore. That's another way I could describe it. Like I didn't trust that it was gonna be able to support me because it broke. I didn't even tell you what they put in my leg for the surgery. I'm gonna get to that part after, because I can describe the whole thing. Because I end up seeing later. This doctor shows me an X-ray a bit later. I have another appointment. It's a month down the line. Month goes by. I start getting really good at walking again. Like I'm not 100% great at walking, but I'm getting better at it. Month goes by. We're pretty much almost caught up to the end here. That month goes by. Doctor does an X-ray of my leg and shoulder, and this is when I finally get to see the full extent of my leg and what they put in it. Says everything's healing great, doing good. Gives me a prescription for physio. Shows me my leg. There is a metal plate with screws on the top part of it, with a metal rod going all the way down, with another set of metal plate and screws at the bottom. My entire right lower leg is metal. It's like there's like not a lot of bone left, unless you want to count the bone, because they had to drill into my knee to put the metal rod in, and then they put the plate with the screws, and then down at the lower part, plate with the screws and all that, and it's just a lot. It's a lot of metal. So I'm gonna be setting off metal detectors when I go, if I ever fly again. When I fly again, I'm gonna be setting off metal detectors. That's gonna be fun. Got physio. My first appointment for physio is this coming up Monday. Sorry, I've been kind of going on a tirade there. I just kind of wanted to catch you up with everything. During that process, during the whole thing, I got back to work. I've been working for a bit now. I just kind of didn't feel like recording any videos or live streaming. It's just that car kind of killed my momentum I had. And this past week, I finally, after Christmas passed, I finally felt like I could start doing videos again. Like the inspiration, that little flicker of inspiration, of creativity I want to do, came back finally after so long. It came back, and I just wanted to get to work and start making videos again. But then I got sick. I've been sick for the past week. That hasn't been fun. I just started feeling better yesterday, and today I'm almost at 100% again. So I'm like, I'm gonna do it today. I'm gonna be my day back. I want to start streaming Stray. I have this whole field of games I want to do and start streaming. I'm so excited. I am so ready. And let's get right into this game. The other thing I want to say, I got a brand new TV. It's a nice 4K, 120 hertz TV. I love it. It is amazing to have a TV like this. I am so happy because I was living with a TV that was only up to 1080p. Still a little sick. Sorry about that. Whew. Let's do this. Start game. I don't know what to expect. I haven't watched any gameplay of Stray.